You're listening to the Call Kent podcast, where Kent C. Dodds answers questions and gives insights to software engineers like you. Now, let's hear the call.
Hi Kent, my name is Tomiwa Ajayi. I'm building a mobile app where product sellers can add their products and by default they get a website listing of their products. On the mobile app, they can make some basic customizations for their web store, such as colors, border radius, and each store owner gets a subdomain. So, take for example, kentstore.xyz.com, another person will be another person.xyz.com. I'm using Remix for the stores. Now, on page load, I want to fetch the styling configuration for the website from the database. I'm I want to know what you think will be the best approach for this. Your insights will be very, very valuable. Thank you. And I'm asking from Nigeria.
And that was the call. Here's what Kent had to say.
Hey, Tomiwa, thank you for the question. This is great. So I actually love this question so much because it gives me an opportunity to get excited about Remix and the amazing thing that is Remix routes, resource routes in particular. So I will link to the docs in the description of the podcast episode, also to the Epic Web Dev exercise where we talk about resource routes in case you haven't gotten to there yet. But basically what you're going to do is you will make a resource route that ends in .css, or it doesn't have to, but would make sense to. And that resource route will read from the database, all of the configuration, whatever. What I would recommend probably is to use CSS variables for this, but you can do whatever you want to. And so what you would do is that resource route will generate the CSS on demand. So you could just like make a string of CSS wherein you interpolate those values for the color and border radius and whatnot, and into the CSS variables or however you want to do that. So you have this string of CSS now, and then you send the response with the correct MIME type to be CSS, and then in your root component or wherever you want to have that CSS file, you're going to add a link, and that link will like a link tag, or you can add this as one of your link exports, and that link will point to the resource route. And that is how you can make this work. So as far as the user is concerned, that resource that resource route is just a file. They don't realize that it's actually being generated. It's just that's how it works. So it's actually super, super cool. If you have any further questions, then it could be useful to have like an actual code example of this or something. So coming to office hours could be helpful if any of that is confusing to you, or if you want to put together an example of what you think I mean and just verify that or something, you can jump on office hours. Or you can even just call back in and present me with what you have and a link, and I can look at it and tell you what I think about it too. We can do multiple calls here. The basic idea is resource route dynamically generates a string of CSS and sends a response with the correct MIME type and everything. And then the root route adds a link that with the href pointing to that resource route. And that'll do it for you. I hope that's helpful. Have a good one.
This has been the Call Kent podcast. Learn more about Kent at kentcdodds.com and get your own questions answered at kentcdodds.com/calls.